Mr. Sorkin, this is Kevin McCarthy. Thank you again for being on our podcast. This is such a pleasure to have you on. I've been watching your work be directed by some of the greatest filmmakers of all time for years. Rob Reiner, obviously David Fincher doing Social Network, Danny Boyle's brilliant work on Steve Jobs, Miller's work on Moneyball. And I wonder, as you were watching these films become the movies they were based on your screenplays, what elements of those directors and the way they approached your material changed the way how you become the filmmaker you are today? I mean, are there things you can pinpoint from specific films or directors that you go, all right, that director really approached my material this way, and that influenced the director that I became on this film and Molly's Game?
Yeah, I would say, and also added to the list of directors, you named Mike Nichols. And Tommy Schlamme in television as the principal director of The West Wing. You would have to really not be paying attention to stand next to these guys for as long as I was able to stand next to them and not pick up anything. So I try to I try to steal as much from them as I can. I've watched the way they work, and I either think, well, that's a shoe I could fit into, or that's not how I would want to work. Mostly, what I try to pay attention to is stuff that speaks to my blind spot, a literal blind spot, which is that I have a very weak visual sensibility. I've spent my life paying attention to how movies, television shows, and plays sound, and not as much attention to how they look. But I'm told that the visual element in cinema is important to some people. So I'm trying to get better at that.
Was there something specifically from Fincher, like on Social Network specifically, that you learned?
Yes, but in the way a freshman would pick up a little something from a guy who's teaching a PhD course in something. Like you could sit in the class and maybe you could pick up a couple of things, but there's so much you have to learn before you can understand what he's talking about. With David, I'm talking about specifically the care he puts into creating a frame. I've seen him spend hours on an exterior shot trying to get just a little spill of light from a street lamp that's 2 blocks away. And I would think to myself at the time, boy, I don't know if this really makes that much difference, this spill of light. And then I'll look at a shot of mine that really could have used a spill of light from a street lamp. So I'm learning the hard way, but I'm learning.